Hi, everyone. It's Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and we are back for another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where we talk about all things U.S. immigration. So, you all know I like to dive right in. We talk about what's hot, what's going on, what has happened generally within the past week. But if there are some things that I think you should know about that maybe didn't happen in the past week, or maybe that are still going on from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I like to tell y'all what's going on. So let's dive right in. The first and most important thing that I want to talk about this morning are work authorization documents. The Immigration Service, as you know, as I have been saying for quite some time now, is taking just about 10 to 12 months to process work authorization documents. And that has put employers and employees alike, in some cases, in a bind. In some cases, people have lost work authorization because of the gap, because of the backlogs, because USCIS cannot get them processed quicker than 10 to 12 months. So last week, they finally came out with a bit of good news on the work authorization documents. They are automatically extended for up to 540 days. So that is tremendous news. It is a sigh of relief for employers and employees alike. So your pending EAD card, your pending work authorization document is now eligible for extension for 540 days automatically. There's nothing else that you need to do in terms of, notifying the Immigration Service or asking them. And that was effective May 4. So that was only a few days ago. So we are super excited about that. It is a welcome policy change. It is temporary. So that's not going to be the norm going forward. This is a measure for USCIS to help them get through their backlog. And so they realized that something needed to be done. So this is their temporary fix. So EAD cards that where you have filed an extension, they are now automatically extended for up to 540 days. Hopefully this gives us all a little bit more breathing room and lowers the anxiety for employees and employers alike who are worried about individuals having to come off of payroll, stop work, and having to figure out workarounds with work that needs to be done. So that has been great news. I also wanted to remind y'all this morning that I know y'all are tired of hearing me talk about it, but I'm going to keep hammering it in. The H-1B lottery was run. So if you have not checked your MyUSCIS account, please go ahead and check that account. If the status is now indicating as selected, that means you were in fact chosen in the H-1B lottery, and you can now file a full application in order for H-1B, in order to apply for H-1B status. What we do not know yet is whether or not the Immigration Service will run a second lottery. The past 2 years, they have had to run a second lottery, and last year, in fact, they had to run a third lottery. So it is important that you keep checking your account. But if you have not checked your account since you initially registered for the lottery, please go in and do that and see if it says selected. Again, if it says selected, you may now file your full H-1B application. And of course, if they run a second lottery, you will absolutely hear it from me. We will absolutely talk about that. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is TPS from Cameroon. While we know it has been approved, what we don't have yet are the published registration dates. So we are still pending those. But as soon as we get those, obviously, I will let y'all know in another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite. But I did want to give you an update, and that, unfortunately, is that we don't have those registration dates yet. The last thing I wanted to talk about real quick with y'all this morning is if you have a green card application that's filed, you have your form I-45, it's filed, it's pending with the Immigration Service. If you get a request for further evidence and it's only for your medical, make sure that you turn that medical into them as soon as possible. The fact that they have issued the RFE for the medical means that your file has been touched. They are ready to adjudicate your file. In some cases, I have seen in my own clients, when they have issued an RFE for the medical and only for the medical, we get them the medical as quickly as possible. The application is soon thereafter approved. So that is happening in some cases, certainly not all, but it is happening in some cases. So I urge you, if you are getting an RFE for your medical, please make sure to do that right away and send that back into the agency. It means that they have assigned your case out, they are working on it, and they want to move it forward. And so you have waited so long to get to this point. So let's make sure we get our medicals in. And as always, if y'all have any questions about what's happening in US immigration, feel free to give my office a call, 954-903-1337. This is going to be a little bit shorter of a morning live, but I definitely wanted to get you those items so that you can start your week. And again, I am Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and this has been another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite. Have a great Monday and a wonderful rest